We're back on the live match challenge at Weston Pools, and this time it's going to be, can you win a match with 3 pre-tied rigs? So let's go and do the draw, see where we get, and then I'll talk you through what the challenge is. But we're going to be using these and these only. As you've just seen, we've drawn peg 2 on Stretton, so bottom end of the lake, which it can be a nice little area, nice and narrow across, so you can get to the far side. So what I've got is I've actually got a pre-tied F1 shallow 4x8, I've got a 4x16 F1 pellet, and I've got a 4x12 F1 maggot. So first off, what I'm thinking is I'll probably do a little clip when I'm setting up, just to like do my thought process and stuff of it. But once the fish just top there, but I've got either some 4mm pellets or some casters. Now I feel like casters across the far bank could be really good, but I feel like if that doesn't go, I'm not really going to catch anything else, and maybe a worm on the hook. But I'm going to have to see how deep it is across there. If it's like 3.5 foot, 4 foot, I might start on pellets and then loose feed some casters somewhere and then see what happens that way. But because I've only got 3 rigs, I know what I'm going to do down the edge. I'm going to fish my 4x14, I'm just going to fish it like in line with the pallet there, and then maybe have a line here, and I'm just going to fish 4mm and expander. Now the thing is, when I seen it was on this lake today, when I come, I didn't really know what bait I was going to fish, which is strange for me at Weston, but it's that time of year where everything's a bit weird. The fish are a bit moody, they want to spawn, they have spawned, it goes cooler, it's bright, it's raining. So it's a bit of a weird time of year. So that's what we've drawn. I'm thinking can have a plumb up across there. Now I know when I drew peg 6, if you go quite close to the far bank, there's a lot of like debris in the water, which obviously will go away as the summer goes on and it decays and stuff and fish start grubbing around and eating, but that might be on the bottom there. So you need to find like a nice clean bottom for that pellet fishing. So what I'm thinking there is excuse me, is see what it's like over there. If it's a little bit too deep, then I'll probably just fish casters and focus on pellets elsewhere. But if it's not, I'm going to have to plumb up and see around. But we've only got 3 rigs, so it'll be interesting up against it, because normally you'll have a jigger set up over there, you'll have a few shallow rigs, a dibber, a little bit deeper rig, but we've only got 3 rigs. So that's what we've got to deal with. Nice little end peg. So let's get the gear to the peg, get set up, and I'll talk you through what I'm up to when I'm hopefully setting up the right lines and putting a match winning tactic together. We're on the peg now, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a live like plumbing up sort of thing for you to see how we go about attacking the peg. Now I do know this area really well, and you can catch a cross on the far bank. Trust it to start raining now as well as soon as I start doing this. So I'm not going to bother my shallow rig first off. I've just got a 4x8 F1 shallow, but I'm going to start off plumbing my edge rig. Now why I'm going to plumb this up is just going to start off plumbing it up just to see. I know roughly it'll be about between 4.5 and 5 foot down the edge. So I want to see a nice little area. Now normally, because the depths of these pegs, get my rig off. The depths of these pegs, all I'm going to do is just take my nut short number 3 off. Just make it about 5 foot deep. So I know I'm not going to go too deep. This is going to be my sort of like, so there's 4 foot. So I'm going to make it a top kit deep, or a short kit deep. Hopefully that's not going to be too shallow and then it knackers everything up straight away, but you should be alright. Get rid of that. Oh. Get rid of that excess line. So I'm just going to put this rig on. I'm just going to see what it is. Now the reason why I want to fish, I'm just going to fish 4mm with the expander on the hook. I've got a bit of corn as well if I want. Put a worm on if I need to, but the reason why I'm just going to fish like this is I just feel that getting on that hard bottom. So what I mean by that is I don't want to be fishing in the sill, so I'm just going to see what it is in front of me. But the problem with this little challenge is I can't can't mess around too much with too many different swims and scenarios just because I haven't got the rigs. So I'm just going to plumb up to the pallet in front of it. See that there? I thought I wasn't going to stop then. So it is quite deep, and I'm not really going to find any more shallow water. And one thing you will find is there is a bit of shallow spot here, but I haven't got the rig for that. So the last thing I don't want to do is put all my eggs in one basket and fish like it's nice there. Put all my eggs in one basket and fish. In the really, really shallow water. I'm just going to see what it is across, just to give me a rough guide for my 4x12. I'm not sure whether I'm going to fish yet, pellets, or... See that? This could be a good sign, because if it comes up close to that far bank, like there, I think I'm just going to fish pellets. Yeah, it's probably like 4.5 foot deep, maybe a bit too deep that. A nice smell of manure, very strong in country. That's very deep there. Only thing is, that's so deep I might be able to get away with 2 rigs there. Just depends, but we'll see. So I'll plumb this pallet up properly. But as you can see, it is quite deep all over the peg. Last thing I'm going to do is break my rig straight away. Now the rig I've just put on there is a 4x16 F1 pellet. It's very deep that. I don't like the look of that, but that's the thing you've got here on Stretton. There's nothing you can really do about it. If I come a little bit closer to myself, it's a little bit shallower, which is strange, but you go close to that pallet, the deeper it goes. Go a bit further, see what. So I'm just going to have a good plumb about, see what depth it is, sort of like here. I want to be on the hard bottom, so what I mean by that is I don't want to be in the sill. That's a nice little area, that, actually. It's a bit shallower that way. I don't want to be on any sill. So what this is, I'm thinking now is I might be able to get away with like a little top 5 line or a top kit line, like say like here. Just gives me another little area where I can just chuck some pellets in. Yeah, I can get on a nice little spot there. Yeah, that's a nice little area. So I'm thinking, yeah, it's nice and flat there. I can fish some pellets there. Maybe fish some pellets like here as well. Sort of thing. I can make it up as I'm going along, really. I don't really want to go too close to that pallet because obviously I've only got 1 rig and that might be the end of it if I go in. But I'm going to leave the hook on it as well, you get with it on this one. Just because it's a 16 GPM, which I like. 0.13 for now, and if I need to go a bit lighter I can, but this is the beauty of it here. I feel like I'm going to have a quite negative match, just tapping a bit of bait in, so I'm going to, that's perfect there. So I'm not going to commit to any edge yet, I'm just going to see. I'm going to go there, see I can get a nice little depth there. That, to me, that's not too bad. So that's my edge rig, keep it quite simple. Let's have a little plumb up, see how deep that is actually. So it's probably nearly 4 foot across there, which isn't too bad. I'm not really sure what to do over there. I feel like I spoke to a chap in the car park and he said it fished well yesterday. They caught 105 pound on casters down the edge. And I just, yeah, there's a nice little plateau there. That's where the plateau is. Yeah, I think I'm gonna sort of like maybe fish pellets there. Just tap some pellets and that's probably about 4 foot there, which is ideal. And if I need to, I can feed some casters. I think it's a little bit deeper over here, which is mad. Yeah, so if I need to, yeah, we're gonna get lucky here. This is where we can get lucky. It's actually quite shallower. If we need to, we can fish. We got a deck line over some casters if we need to fish any. What's it near that aerator? Yeah, it's a little bit shallower there. That might be worth just tapping a few pellets in near that. That's a nice little depth there. See, this is what I mean. Because you got limited options, you're just plumbing up your peg a little bit more, which is good. This rain can do one. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking there. If we need to, we can obviously tap a few pellets in near the aerator. And that side there is quite... Yeah, so we've got a few areas of that peg. So I'm happy with that. Obviously, we need to set one more rig up. Just see what it is on a top kit. Not coming off. Doesn't want to come off. See what it is on a top kit. You might be able to get the same depth. A little bit shallower. It's a little bit too close that there. But we'll be able to get some lines going. Feed a few pellets a bit frugally. Can't get this off there. Put it on too tight, a bit wet. Yeah, that's that edge rig and pellet rig. It can do a number of things. I'll put some back shot on that in a minute. Phone's getting soaked, so this sort of rig. Got a 4x12 F1 maggot. Now, I am going to use my own hook lengths today just because I need some banded ones and stuff, and I didn't actually have some Preston pre-tied ones, so we're going for the rigs but not going for the hook. But yeah, we'll just sort of like do the little, put this up, sort of like do a little how we're going to go about it. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put like a 4-inch hook length of 011 on. Nice and light. So still got the shot that's on it. I'm not changing that. We can dot it down if we need to, or take some off, but I'm just going to go through. This is not ideal, this rain, for the old live match filming, but it's one thing I get asked about is plumbing up and where to look in the peg. So I'm thinking, like I said before, I'm going to go there, just under a top kit deep, and I'm going to fish like a 10s hollow. I'm going to be quite negative, and I'm going to plumb up exactly where that fish has just topped, which is mad. Put that there. Yeah, I'm going to plumb up over there at 40 metres, and then if I feel like there's enough fish there, I can... So I'm just going to... Feels weird actually talking when I'm doing this, so I'm just going to put it to 4 foot and see if that's actually the depth which we've got over there. If we have, that's ideal, because I'll be able to fish the pellet line across in like a nice little depth. Really, it's not too shallow, it's not too deep. You don't really get anything other than 3.5, 3 foot on this lake anyway, and that's on down the other end of the lake. So if that just stops there now, yeah, it's probably an inch or two over 4 foot, which is nice. There's a carp. That's any problem. We do hook a few carp, but and that one's just topped by them reeds as well, so it might be quite good today. He's going to crash into me, that carp, in a minute. Yeah, we're going to fire a few pellets in there. I don't know whether it could go further. Might come up a touch. I might put my dolly butt on and just fish like there, and then I can fire some pellets and then fire some casters. So I'm feeling that castery. And what I'm going to do as well, I might chuck some in the edge, because that's how the lake was won yesterday. That's one thing you need to keep an eye on. That's how they were catching yesterday. So 4x12. That's me pellet line. This is me. The mad thing is, this is me whole day plumbed up in one hit. I'm going to go in line with that post, just hit a fish then as well. A nice bit on the bottom. If I go a bit further, where my dolly butt's going to go, that's a nice little bit. So I'm just going to tap some bait in there, I might catty an odd bit. That's where I'm going to fish, near that reed bed there, which is like ideal really, because I'm the only one, any passing fish on that far bank. And then I'm going to loose feed some casters like this way, near that reed. I could even feed some if I needed to down towards this area. Now, one depth I'm going to do for my shallow rig. So that's my pellet rig done. Just waffling on. I need to get a number. Not a number. I need to get anything numbery. I need to get a dolly butt so I can fish that nicely with pellets. So that's going to give me a nice little. I'm going to start around my feet, see what the fishing's like, if it's good, and then I'm going to ping an odd one, and then I can drop in over there. So that's my two deck rigs. So we've got them here. One's 4 foot, one's like 5 foot. So 5 foot in the edge, 4 foot across. And then for my shallow rig, I'm just literally, I'm going to set it about 4 foot, and obviously I can make it a bit, I'm not saying, I'm going to set it like, I'm going to set the rig at 3 foot. Because I don't feel like I'm going to catch any deeper than that. And I'm going to set my rig like, probably like, for example, say if I need, keep them hook lengths. I'm waffling on here, but what I'm actually thinking in my head, I'm going to put a 20s hook on for that. Or an 18. I put an 18 on there? No, it's 18 there. Yeah, put that on. Thought I've put like a little band on to start with, but if I feel like I need to fish casters shallow, I can put like a band where I can slide my caster on. So it's got a little 18 with a little bait band, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is, ideally, I'm probably not going to fish any deeper than 3 foot on this rig. So what I'm going to do is on it. That's a lot of shot on that. That'd be alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it. Got number 4s, I've got everything everywhere. Oh, I nearly went in that. So I'm going to put it about 3.5 foot deep. Ian's got carp with his back out of his peg next peg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it to 3 foot there, and I'm going to make my rig 3.5 foot deep. So if I need to catch shallow across, I've not got too much a longer piece of line above my pole tip and my float. Obviously I'm going to have to move this around a lot today compared to what you'd normally just put like a rig on for like say 12 inch and then one for 10 inch and then stuff like that. But today we haven't got that luxury. Keep the line out the way. So nice and quickly set up. All I'm going to do is add some back shot. Got my hooks ready to go, and I just need to keep an eye on what's going off. Just check this shot on this float doesn't sink. But yeah, that's a nice little, that's not too deep that. Obviously I'm not trying to fish shallow in the deeper water or anything like that. I'm just trying to fish. That's good, we've got a bit of shot on there so we can play around, get some. So we'll probably, like, you can put it 2 foot deep, you can put it wherever we need to put it, move it around. I'm going to put some back shot on and keep it nice and neat. So there the rig's set up. Sorry if that feels a bit rushed, but I'm just going to play it by ear, starting a few lines short on pellets, just to feed some 4mm, maybe an odd 3mm, and put an expander on the hook. And then I'm going to fire some pellets across, hopefully catch a few on that, and then I've got some casters wherever I need to fish them across to the reeds or fire them down to the aerator, depending on what we're thinking for that sort of approach, but I'm not really sure where the wind's going. Not really any wind anyway, it's just a bit wet and drizzly. So yeah, that's a little setup we've done. A little run through of how set up. So we've got the 3 pre-tied rigs which are here. That's it, that's all we're going to use today. I'm just going to get some bait ready now, and then I don't know what time it is, get some bait ready. But there's a lot of fish topping, which is good. Hopefully it's good enough, but we're going to keep it nice and simple, not do too many complicated things, and catch a load hopefully. So I'll carry on. Right, we're just about a minute or so before the start, so I'm just going to start on the top 5 to my left and right, just to see if I can get some bites early. So I'm just going to plumb it up to make sure I'm in the right area. There's a fish there, in line with the old peg 32 sort of thing, and then on this, in line with the edge of the area I think. But yeah, that's the one. Nice shelf here, it's massive, probably good top kit out the shelf. So what I'm going to do on there is just kinder a few 4mm, fish, an expander on the hook, so I'm going to put a little pot on to start with, just one of them. But yeah, that's what we've got at the minute. I'm going to look to start on them pellets, short. And I'm going to ping an odd pellet like it 40 metres towards that reed bed, but fishing gets, I feel like there's an odd fish here, I will start probably pinging a few casters either to that reed bed or the aerator. Obviously I'll need to change my hook bait, my hook length on my shallow rig, but that's all we got set up. 3 rigs there, a pellet rig for a cross. We've got a tractor in the field across now, hopefully he'll be able to hear me, but pellet rig across in like just over 4 foot. And then we've got a shallow rig, which is that, we can move it around, so just put some back shot on now, so if I feel like I can catch shallower I will move it round, but I'm just going to string it out my shot on the line there, so I've just got it strung out at the minute. If I need to go shallower I can, but it's just set at 2 foot for now, just to see. But I feel like we might be catching like maybe 18-inch deep, but we've got that long piece of line, so that'll help. We might catch an odd one on pellets, so that's a start. So what I'm going to do is just start on the little expander, the 4mm expander, and I'm going to kinder in like 15 to 20 pellets, 4mm. Not loads, but I'm just going to start this way. Just want to keep everything nice and neat to start with, so I'm just going to pot it. Make a bit of a height, so make a bit of noise. I'm just going to lower my rig straight in. So the reason why I've gone for this like more positive one here is I can be just dead neat and accurate. That's why I've chose to fish like the 4x16 F1 pellet. I'm going to be nice and neat and accurate. But one thing I might do is just dot it down a little bit more, because the bites on, I know when I've fished on here in the past, bites are so delicate. What I'll do, if I do hook a fish there in a minute or get a bite or something, what I'll do is I'll feed the left hand side as well, so it just gives me another chance to drop on the little area if I need to. But I feel like we're fishing for like 80 to 100 pound, which is probably like 60 fish if it's like them smaller fish, maybe an odd carp, but I don't feel like going to catch them carp. They haven't been showing. Like this peg used to be renowned for carp, like big carp, but they haven't really been showing, just due with like time of year and the way things are at the minute. But you can catch maybe a few stocky F1s and stuff, but it's like I said, that I don't know whether to, I'm going to feel my way in on pellets across, and if I feel like there's an odd fish there, and I might fire some casters in either to the reed bed to the left or right in front of me, to that reed bed there, or I'll fire them down to the aerator as well. Might need to put another little shot on that rig, like I said, but the beauty of where I'm fishing is it's hard bottom, so that's really important. It's not too deep, so like I'm not fishing in the silt, it's just an indication there. I'm not fishing in the silt, I'm just fishing on that nice hard bottom, so it just gives me obviously makes it a lot easier. The fish aren't going to blow the bottom up and dig the bottom out, so that really helps us, obviously, because I've only got this rig. If I was to fish on the silt with this sort of rig, what might happen is when this fish start eating and catching a few fish, they'll dig the bottom out, and obviously I'll have to go deeper and I'll run out of rig, and then I'll have to move lines all the time. So that's why I've chose, just for me edge fishing and me pellet fishing, I'm just going to fish like on this hard bottom, left and right. Come back in a minute if I don't get a bite. Refeed again. I just think it's really important to keep a bit of bait going in. Because of the depth, I just feel like you have to draw fish in all the time. Definitely just need to put there. It's hardly indication. I knew that was going to be the sort of case. I think it's a crucian actually. Yeah, it's not an F1, I don't think. Cruciano. Yeah. Oh, we'll take it. Yeah, it's sticking out a bit, way too much, that rig. So what we'll do is I'll just put number 12 on. This is where you can tinker. Obviously we've got a pre-tied rig, but you can tinker around and make it work for me. Obviously we are limited what we can use. Nearly a bug then. What the hell is that? And what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to put my back shot really close to my float, so like there. And I'm going to feed. I'm just going to bait up. I'm going to feed probably like 10 pellets. I'm just going to drop them in on that left hand line in that area. It just gives me gives me an option. And I'm just going to ping a few across. Not a lot, like 10 maybe. Just keep a bit of bait going in, just so if I need to I can drop on it. And then I'm just going to put in 10 to 15 this time. Dunk him so it takes a little edge off him. Spin it round, so it's just about settling in the match this. I don't want to, because I'm not trying to fish for like, I'm not fishing like a qualifier sort of thing. I'm not trying to catch a bigger weight than what you normally need. I'm trying to just catch enough just to get by. And just like, obviously, I feel like it's an 80 to 100 pound day, which is just a nice steady day if you can get some bites on this lake. But there's a few little things like dotting your float to a pimple like that. Now, to me, it's perfect what we're doing there. Any little sign on that float, I can just give it a little lift. Yep, pigeon. And give it a little lift. I'm going to work my rig a little bit as well, just so. I don't normally do that with pellets, but I just feel like when I've been on the past on this lake, just a little bit of movement and a little bit of noise and stuff. They're a lot smaller fish than what. Well, not smaller fish, I'd say, but they're like a stocky sort of fish. They're like, you can imagine the way they feed is quite erratic. It's not like a slow big plod F1 where you can set your little trap and sit there. I feel like you need to be quite active and moving around, and you get little runs of fish when they come in your peg and then they go out your peg, and it's just about being and moving around. And that's why I've not just focused on that. I'm just fishing in the edge. I'm not just said right, I'm just fishing in the edge and that's it. I'll just persevere with this. Beauty of this is I can literally feed these two lines. If I need to drop off my across line to rest it, I can drop on these, maybe catch an odd fish or two. But what you might find is it might take the fish a while to come off the shelf. Remember last time I fished on here, I caught really well on the silt, but because it's a little bit deeper and I haven't got the options there, I want to try and cover my options as much as I can, but obviously I haven't got the versatility of setting loads and loads of rigs up. So started this way just so I can see what's going on. Got Ian next to me, who set up about 5 million rigs just because he knows I can't. It might just be a case of just letting the fish start to feed, and then we might get some bites later on this pellet line, but other than that, see, that's what I mean, there's a big carp there just swimming around, but he's obviously been spawning or just chilling out, so I'm not going to try and catch him. Just leave him to it, but there's one beauty of this. Oh, that was a little dink then. And obviously throw a few pellets on it. Right round my float, bang on that. If I do say so myself. If I feel like I don't get a bite, this is the beauty of it, I can just feed that up, like chuck 5 or 6 pellets in, just little and often, and then I can go to that other side and see if I can catch anything that way. That was a little sign then, indication. It's the beauty of this little wire, this 4x16 is just, it's a really positive rig. So I'm not waiting for ages, because obviously it is nearly 5 foot deep there. I'm not waiting for my rig to catch up all the time. Say if I was flicking in like a 4x12 like my other rig, I'd be waiting for my rig to catch up and it just wouldn't be right. But with this, I was rubbish that time. It must have been a fluke that first time. You've got to be nice and patient. This is what I thought it was going to be like, not like frantic. Not stupid frantic fishing. That's why I've chose to try and catch them on pellets on the bottom across to start with. Like I said, if I need to, I can ping a few pellets, I can ping some casters somewhere else, but for the minute, I just didn't want to go gun-ho, start spraying bait everywhere, obviously, because it is a narrow peg, and the last thing you want, if you want to feel your way in, especially when you've got like a live match sort of challenge. It is deep that there, so what I'm going to do is throw a few pellets on it, come back, whiz over to this other side, have a little look on here. In line with that. A bit for nice and tight. That's the thing as well, it is quite deep there, so it's going to be hard to try and keep fish on the bottom and try and draw fish in all the time. As well, this is like where Weston's unique, is like there's not many places where I've sort of got 5 foot in the edge sort of thing, and I'm going to get signs, indications, and play sort of thing. I'll just keep everything nice and neat for now. Now if the fish do start feeding, like I said before, yeah, that's a bite, that's a proper one. Right, when I hook one, I took a few in, just try and draw a few fish in, but it'll probably be a crewy again. Ooh. Now I've just got 11 hollow in a short kit. Nice soft elastic, that's it, like the ones we want. This is what we're going to be catching today, I think. Sort of like a poundy fish. That's a bit under, but that's what we're going to be fishing for, them sort of fish. Click him. So I'm just going to do it again. And this is the beauty of it now, you can work a few lines now. So, you've seen why I sort of like wanted to target them areas. But what I'm going to do is stuck a few pellets in that way. Not really bothered where they go at the minute, as long as it's near the area. And then I'm going to get my catty out, obviously, and ping a few pellets across. Just more a bit of noise and a bit of attraction, really. And then rattle my pellets in, put my rig straight above it, hold it still, everything's settled down. And when you know it's right, it'll just settle up and just go dunk. That was a perfect little bite, that one. Like I say, if you do get a food fish off the bottom, the beauty of it is, I know if I come close to myself, it's going to be the same depth. Obviously, if I feel like I need to get an odd bite, I might, middle of the match, I might have to go a little bit further, like top 6. Not going to be stubborn, I'm going to move around a bit. That was a little thing. That was an indication straight away, so just shows, just by changing sides, you can just get, I feel a bit more confident with it now. Obviously, because I've caught that fish, I'm just going to put a few pellets in the pot again, get my rig right over where I'm going to fish, tap the bait right in. It's about keeping everything dead accurate, and while I'm waiting for everything to trim up, I'm just going to feed a few more pellets across. I feel like that could get me a nice little steady run, that. I know what it's like, even when I drew peg 6 on the Winter League, you feel like it's the wrong thing to do, because obviously fishing on the bottom in a long way, but if you can get a bite every single time, it makes a hell of a difference. Obviously there's a chance of catching shallow over there, obviously because of the depth. There's even a chance of catching shallow where I am now, but for the time being, I'm just going to keep everything nice and neat and try and work everything out as we go along. Like I said, the beauty of it is, I keep mentioning it, I can move around with this rig and come closer, I can come shorter if I need to. There's an odd fish topping which makes me think there's an odd fish here, so I want to try and settle on a few lines early, see if I can catch a nice little steady run and work out the best way to catch him. Don't be wrong, I might end up loose feeding some casters down towards the spinner. Said, or if I need to, I can just tap some pellets in close to that spinner if I feel like it's a bit more negative sort of fishing. But looking round, we're not done too bad. I think Ian's had 2 fish, so not many people have hooked one. I can see a lot down the lake, see like the other side as well, like the late 20s and stuff. So I personally feel like where I'm fishing now, if I can just tick over and get an odd bite, and then obviously can go on that pellets to start with. Go on that pellets, that's my next sort of move, and see what sort of response I get off that. Now, if I do feel like I'm getting a few fish in the peg, I will try and get away with throwing some bait, but just because I feel like the weights are going to be like 80 to 100 pound, which I'm saying, which is a nice day's fishing, don't get me wrong. You have to think about it, gives you time to think about it as well. I'm not going to start throwing bait all the time. I just don't feel like that's going to help me. I feel like when you're not on your peg, yeah, you can do that because you can draw a few fish in, but I just feel like this is going to be a sort of like day where you're going to have to chop and change and nick a few fish. Now, instead of just dropping back on that line, I'm going to have a little look on that other line. But, ooh, silly thing, they go under your pallets. That's it. See what I mean? They're sort of like your bread and butter fish. And if you can catch them across on the bottom, that's where we're going to look to target. So, probably later on as well, I might change this rig to just put a hard pellet on just to make it a bit more versatile. But to start off with, I just found recently, feed them up, just fishing a few pellets, start to move. See, I personally like shot, but obviously I haven't got that luxury because it's not my rig. So tap them bait in, keep everything nice and still, let everything catch up. So the beauty of it is I can loose feed. The fish just top at the back of the area there. I do feel like it could be a good line for fishing casters shallow, but so what I might find is now I might just go in here now, just because I give it a little rest. I might give it a chance for a fish to come into the peg. I might get like a quick 2 fish, and then I can drop back the other side. Maybe nick another 2 there. That's the signs. Like I said, if we need to, we can go a little bit further. I do think starting on that silt you can get a little bit better run, but like I said, maybe I should have started on the silt and changed my rig afterwards, but I just feel like I was messing around too much with that. It's quite deep, it is really deep in front of you, which is strange about this peg. There's a nice shelf, and then it just goes, drops straight off. There's no like gradual slope. It drops straight off into the abyss. It'd probably be like 5.5 foot deep, which to me is just too deep. I want to try and catch them on this shelf and work at it, but see there now, just be nice and patient with this. I'm not worried about like not getting loads and loads of signs, because I don't feel like we will, if that makes sense. I feel like the way it's fishing everywhere at the minute is just, like I keep mentioning it, it's all about feeling your way in, trying to make the most of like your fishing. Now one thing I did do is I did shorten the hook length to 3 inch, just because I want my shot really close to my hook, because obviously that bite detection is so important, and the closer I can get that shot to the hook, the better it is when the fish suck the bait in. I'm going to see it a little bit more quicker, and it's going to show up on my float a little bit more positive than it would if it was obviously further away. It gives the fish more chance to get away with it, which we don't want. Say maybe that's, we just dropped that way. We've had a crucian that way and not really many signs, and then that way we've had 2 fish and 2 chucks, so might be the case there's a few fish in this corner and that way's a little bit better. You always find that it's not going to be solid on both sides, and obviously if it is, then it's going to fish a little bit better than you thought, and you might be fishing a little bit closer, quicker, but just try and end on a fish for you. See, I feel like I'm not being really that patient with this side, but it's hard to do when you know that side. You had a couple of bites straight away off it, and you know if you come back and feed again on that left hand side, you might get a little run again of like 1 or 2 fish. So it's early days yet. Don't want to start smashing bait in everywhere, but just want to start priming lines up, and I want to get a feel for what I need to do. Oh, that was an indication then. Ooh. So I need to just get a little feel of what I want to do and need to do. I'm just going to go to that left hand line just to try and get a bite for you. The last thing I want to do is literally tap them in, keep everything nice and tight. You can imagine dropping them down there now, so I'm just going to feed that across line. Bring a few pellets over there. See there, that was a quick sign straight away there. Like not a massive bite, but like my float just moved. I wouldn't say a bite, like a liner, but my float just moved a little bit, so that's what I sort of got to the right then. Got like a real big liner, but with a fish swimming through my rig. With this one, that's a bite. You see there now, that's where I feel like there's a few fish that side. Keep everything nice and tight. There's the off, but end on a fish, so I'm just In a minute, just playing around. I've got a couple of pellet lines on the go. Keeping everything nice and neat, that's the most important thing at the minute. I do feel like when we go on that across line, it's going to get... That's where we're going to be looked to catch, I think. But for now, I'm just going to try and chop and change these short lines. It's a bit better one. Fish a bit negative, but it might work in our favour, so nice little start. Caught a few fish for you on camera. You've got the idea what's going on. I've still got 3 rigs in the armoury, which is a good thing, so we'll pop back. And we're probably on that across line, hopefully. On the nice little steady run, and we've worked out what we need to do for our match. Now you're joining us, just coming up to 2 hours in, and it's going quite well at the minute. We've got, need to click that fish, we've got 27 fish. And we had, I think I got up to 6 or 7 on that short pole line, and then literally went across on pellets, tapping a few pellets in, and just had a real steady run of fish. First of all, say that sort of stamp was just like them smaller fish which we had the first off, and then obviously I've had a few bigger ones. I've had an odd one shallow as well. But the minute there's just the winds, one thing that they are doing is sitting quite high. So what I mean by that, there's wind. What I mean by that is they're just sitting like 12-inch deep, which obviously an F1 shallow is going to be okay in that, but like, you're always thinking, oh, just had a little gust of wind there now. You're always thinking, oh, that'd have been a little bit better fishing a dibber there, but I just fished an F1. Oh, I've only got the F1 shallow and I put it like 14-inch deep. I'm having a few fish in it, so just dropped back on the bottom and it's a bit scatty. So what I mean by that is I just missed a few bites, and I felt like because they're in loose feeding, there's no like target area for them fish to come in. So I literally just put a pot on for now. Probably going to try and catch 2 or 3 more fish, try and get to sort of like 30 fish, and then I'll have a little go shallow again. Couldn't really clatter him, you had to like keep working your rig, and the only way you got bites is when it was falling through the water. You got them quite quick, but it's obviously an odd fish there again now. But I haven't tried anywhere else in the peg. I haven't been back on my pellets down the edge. I haven't been on the spinning. The one thing I've done, sorry I forgot to mention, is I've fed some casters to the area. I've not been on it yet because obviously I feel like this is going to be my bread and butter at the minute, and I need to put as many fish as I can in the net, and the stamp's quite good. And what I mean by that is like the fish I'm catching are a nice decent size. I feel like they're over £1, and that's what I want. I just want to put bites in the net, fish in the net, just get some bites. Let's foul up that one, but just want to get some bites. But without sounding cliche, that's probably the smallest one we've had for a while, but we have caught a few shallow. But I catch 1 or 2 more there. All I'm doing is putting like a medium pot. I'm feeding quite heavy really. I'm not feeding like tapping little bits and bobs in, because there is an odd fish shallow, and then all I'm doing is just throwing a few casters down the right edge, and then when I put my rig in now, I'll feed some casters towards the aerator just in case it does get decent fishing. Oh, that's good. Oh, that was a foul looker then. Oh, big tangle. That's not good. Just caught a fish there when I went to put my rig in. There you go, rig's coming off. That's the thing, I've been in the tree once on my rig. I caught a fish and the hook length snapped off as I netted it, and then obviously went in the tree. And obviously because I've only got these 3 rigs, I don't want to lose any, but I feel like the time on this rig is going to be up soon, because obviously I'm catching a few fish shallow across there. Loose feed a few pellets. Keep everything tight, and I found like just holding it still and just lowering it dead slow, I get like an odd fish that just pulls my pole down. Nice and patient, just putting like either a fishery 6mm on the hook, or I've got a pellet which is a little bit bigger than the 4mm, like a nice goldeny colour. I found that's been the best 2 hook baits for now, but I'm still feeding that short. I've fed a short on a top kit line, like proper short. Oh, that's foul. That's in there. That's in the stratosphere, that one. Yeah, right, I need to stop messing around here now. Put this down, because it's alright showing things, but it's not the right way to catch them now. Just stop messing around, Matt. So yeah, put it about 18 inch deep, back shot quite close. I've got my bulk right down as well, because I feel like I'm getting bites when I'm flicking my rigging, so I want to make everything like a bolt effecty. Obviously, if I feel like I need to, I am a bit tempted to chop this rig down just a little bit, take a bit off, because I don't feel like I'm going to catch anything at 3 foot. But for now, see, this is where it's really important. When you first flick it in now, get all your bites when it sort of like goes in. That's where, like, obviously the dibber would be a little bit better, but not everyone's got thousands of top kits and stuff to play with, so this is why the beauty of it. Then pre-tied rigs, just give it, oh, see that, there's a little dink then. That's what we need. When you start catching shallow across there, even up to that bank or even in the edge, you're going to give yourself a massive chance of doing well. That was obviously the last challenge went really well. Oh, you clown, that didn't go well. What's going on there, like? What a noodle. Keep everything tight. And when I'm looking for my pellet, I'm looking for another one with a nice big barrel on. Put that there. Just feed some casters. Not seeing any signs of fish down there. I've seen an odd blonde one. I'm not seeing any swirls, but give it time. As long as we're getting bites here, I'm not really fussed about fishing anywhere else. I just want to make sure I can get the most. Yeah, a lot of... Normally, like with shallow fishing, you want to hang it here at Weston, but today, whether it's because it's pellets or fish is sitting quite high because there's a bit of cover, just finding catching them, like when I slap it in, just get a tiny little stab on your float and you have to whack it. See, like that there, that was a little dink. Get a tiny little stab on your float. That's one. That was like a double stab, that I couldn't miss that one. But I did think about moving my line. I did pull them up again. I did think about moving it, trying to get it like 30.5 metres, but the depth wasn't there the same, and I was catching on the bottom when I thought that. But every fish I catch higher up is actually quite big, which is a good thing. And obviously the speed I'm catching, I'm not emptying it, but that's nearly £2 that fish without even you realising. So that's what we want. Top lip as well, lovely. But I might just put a little bit bigger pellet on, see if that makes a difference. See, the other pellets have got like a nice goldeny one, a little bit bigger. But the key is just keep them lines fed as well. A bit like a robot throwing bait everywhere, but you never know when lines are going to die. Slap that in. Obviously, like I said, got a long piece of line between pole tip and float, but that back shot's keeping everything in position. I'm not getting loads of signs when I'm sat there as well. It's such a weird, whether the fish is just sat in that little weeds across and they're just coming out with that little bit of noise with my rig. Like I sit there now, my rig, and I don't get a sign, and I'll flip my rig in now. And you could get a little pluck on your rig. See, that was a bite then. But I've just sat there with my rig in the water and not had an indication. Obviously a few fish there. Just about working out what depth I need to fish for him. Little lifts and drops. See if I can coax one. That's one. Ideal. That's what we want. That was like it, a set depth, that. Just a nice lift and drop, and then obviously it's on. But you can see the speed we're catching. I was catching on the bottom to start with, and then probably got to like 20 fish, and then I started to get like silly bites on the way down. Keep feeding that. Oh, wasn't watching then. bigger fish this is, I think. I've just got a 10, yeah, it's a bit bigger, that one. See, there's 2 fish there. Like I said, they're the big one, or bigger ones. Catch a load of them, will be alright. You know what I mean, pal? So it's like 30 fish now, with just under 2 hours gone. So I do feel like I can set myself a 70 to 80 fish target. That's going to be really put me up there for like a 110, 120 gang, if they keep the same size. Just going to keep in contact with that rig all the time. It's such a strange thing normally be picking rigs up and stuff, but obviously I'm fishing the same rigs. I've got 3 rigs playing about. I'm just giving it a lift and drop. So the more line as I get, I can move around, I can shallow it up, deepen it off. But let's see, that was a bite when I flipped my rig in. Trying to multitask here, trying to feed casters and fish that at the same time. Hopefully I can get a few bites on casters there, but I just feel like where I'm fishing now is like a nice little place. It's excuse me, it's wide enough. There's obviously a little bit of reeds there, nice and shallow as well compared to like the rest of the peg, so it's a nice little haven for them fish to sit in and play around. I can try and spread my shot out if I feel like that, slowing that bait down's a little bit better, but you normally find with pellets, they don't mind like a faster, obviously. Pellets sink a lot faster than maggots and casters, so I might have to shallow this up a sec. I'll try and slow the bait down, one or the other. Like I said, the amount I'm not getting when my rig's sat in the water just makes me think that I need to keep laying my rig in all the time, making that little bit of noise. It's often one thing you find with pellet fishing is like, when you fish shallow, obviously, normally like sometimes noise with maggots and stuff don't really catch doing it, but I feel like with pellets they make a crashing sound anyway. So if you can mimic that, you can get a few more fish, but it's about working your rig. I often feel as well, if you do miss a few bites, don't just sit there and like I am now. Maybe try back on the deck again, see if you can get a little run on the deck, because I had a little carp before, like a little pound and a bit of carp. You need a few of them and you're going to pump your weight up massively. One thing as well, they are, pull my pole down, that one. Lovely. So what I might do is I might just take about 2-inch off and I might put like what I'm feeding on the hook. And not one of them gold ones, but feels a big one again. I'm playing it, casters. Just trying to remember all my lines, keep everything going. But we're having a mint day at the minute. Obviously it's such a string, proper ones they are. They're the old dibber fish them, but we haven't got one, so get that out of my head. 10's hollow, there you go. Wrapped around his fin, but he's in the mouth. Side there. So yeah, it's going well at the minute. We've got 31 fish now. Do a little tweak now, so just pull my rig down. See what's going on. I'm going to pull it down to about 14-inch. Make sure that back shot comes with it so I can keep everything nice and tight. I'm just going to put 2 down the line. Keep that in position, and then I'm going to put what I'm feeding on the hook. So a little 4mm fishery pellet. Just gives it that what we're fishing as well. So before we go out, feed the top kit line, feed the edge line, and give that a couple of casters on the spinner. But this is lake, is a mad old lake because they do love pellets. I think if I was going to draw in the bowl today, I'd have fished pellets a lot because I know what it's like. It's that time of year now where maggots and casters seem to be, well, pellets outscore maggots miles more than they do casters still has the day. Probably because of noise factor. Little lift and drop then. See if we can work out a way to catch these nice and quickly. I think it's just a job of doing what I'm doing at the minute, laying my rig in. Keep flicking it then. Obviously the ideal scenarios, you'd have like a jigger set up, you'd have little dibbers, but like I say, people haven't got loads and loads of top kits. That's why I thought it'd be a nice idea. That's it. That's the one. Nice idea just to come on, give myself a challenge. It's smaller, that one, but we'll take him. So yeah, I'm going to plod on with this now. Probably catch one more for you because it's, see, that's hooked. This is where interesting, look at where it's hooked, so that's hooked in the bottom lip, so maybe I need to take a couple of inches off, which I'm going to do again. Just check, it's about 12 inches deep now. 2 down the line, rest under the float. The only thing is, we've got a bit of wind now, so obviously that long piece of line's ideal, but obviously the wind's going to catch it, and it is catching my peg. It's obviously blowing down. I'm not moaning about that, but obviously like you want it a bit shorter really, but there you are, that's it. Boom, look at that. That's the key with shallow fishing. If you ever want an example of what it's like. No, that ruined it, didn't it? But that was the case. Got a bit cocky then. I was going to say that's the shallow fishing sort of like blueprint of it, but little tweaks and changes can make a massive difference to your catch rate. So hopefully we're going again and try and catch another one, but that's the problem at the minute. I think the biggest problem is it's going to hinder me now is that length of line between my poult and my float. Yes, I could shorten it down, but I don't know what a caster's doing yet. So the last thing I want to do is like shorten it down to like 2.5 foot, and then I might catch a run in the edge at like 2.5 foot or something. So, but obviously I might do it later on. It's just at the minute it's not affecting me too bad. It's just when that little ripple comes down, just makes it a little bit harder to try and control me rig. Keep it in position, little lift and drops. You'll often find some days little things work, so like lift and drops, and some days slapping's better, and then some days a bigger pellet's better, some days match the hatch sort of what you need to do. It's just crazy, like that's the beauty of like shallow fishing as well. No 2 days the same, as you've seen on that last challenge sort of thing, which was good, and I had mega feedback on that, so thank you for that. But see, I might have gone too shallow now. Not really getting any signs on it. Oh yeah, took that one on, but a bit smaller there, so that's something to think about. But hopefully we get it in the net. See how them changes make a massive difference to your fishing. So I'm going to plod on. Hopefully when we come back we're getting a few bites. There's a little carpet, is that one? Lovely. We're getting a few bites and a peg, and obviously catching a few more. So yeah, it's going well at the minute. There's 32 fish, that is. I'm going to put it a little bit deeper again, see if we can get some signs. 32 fish. Move my rubbers around, they're moving a little bit. Repeating myself now, but 32 fish. It's looking alright, so we'll carry on. Keeping our lines topped up. Moving around the peg. Keeping the bait going in, hopefully. We'll come back and we'll keep the rhythm going, which we've got at the minute because it's going well. And it's really interesting because obviously it's such a little challenge. I'm having to work out, and normally, I know I'm rabbiting on, but normally you don't have the look. You have, yeah, that's beautiful bit, isn't it? Didn't even get a chance to feed them. Normally you have the luxury of moving rigs around, but not everyone has that luxury, so that's why this live match is going well. I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm going to feed that line because obviously I didn't get a chance to. Big pouch of pellets. Things are looking up. Sorry to interrupt the video, but I'm going to run a little competition for you. These rigs have come straight off the top kit, back onto the winders, back into the packaging, and I'm going to send them out to one lucky winner. So all you got to do is comment below in the section of this video, what peg would you love to draw at Weston pools, and would you use these rigs on it? So all you got to do is comment below what peg you'd love to draw at Weston pools, and I'll pick a winner at random, and I'll get these sent out to you. So don't forget what peg you want to draw at Weston pools. A little competition. I'll let you get back to the live. Now we're just gone over the 90 minute left mark, and we've got 55 fish, which they've been a little bit bigger than last lot in this net, but we're still on target from a sort of like little target I said that I'd like of like 70 to 80 fish, because I feel like if we can get to 80 fish, that's definitely going to go £100 or so. I feel like that's what I fished a little bit better than what I thought today. And I can't see many. I can see people, but I've not really paid any attention too much because I've just been trying to concentrate what people are catching. But I'll just give that pellet line a rest and then feeding the other lines. But I'll just have a little go down to this aerator on casters, just because I've had an odd fish there, and it's just a nice little area where I can rest them now. You can't really clatter them on that pellet line now. Now one thing I've had to do is shorten my rig down. Oh, there's a bite. And just try and manoeuvre them round. Bit awkward with trees, but we got there. Now one thing I've done, is I think helped improve a little bit with my conversion of bites is I've chopped my rig down, so instead of being 3.5 foot, my rig's now in total, the whole rig in total from pole tip to hook is 2.5 foot, so I've had to fish a little bit deeper for these fish now. Just fishing like between probably 18 inch and 20 inch, which seems a nice little depth, and to be honest it's about what I want to look for when the fish are feeding aggressively. Yes, I did catch a few fish really shallow, but like I said, my rig wasn't right for that, but obviously I'd like a dibber. But obviously now the rig's perfect for it because the fish are sitting a little bit deeper. I can get away with fishing a little bit deeper, and got nice finesse, and it's perfect. Ooh, wrong bait. This thing, trying to keep firing in pellets because I never know, and I might get another run, but slap them, that caster in front of that aerator. Lifting drops. Not too high, it's little lifting drops. I feel like there'd be a lot of fish sat under there. There's a bit of scum, the wind's blowing a bit down. The fish I've caught there have all been like quite staticky when I've put my rig in, so I'm not adding my like flicking my rig in like this sort of thing. I'll probably get one now, but I've had a lot of them where my rig stayed stationary, and it's obviously they're coming through and picking off all the loose feed when they're coming through, but so I don't expect to like empty it down there just because it is obviously into a corner. But getting an odd bite just gives me a chance to rest that other line as well. Rest my pellet line across, and then I can get a nice little burst on that again. I'm not getting loads of signs on this, just an odd sign, so it's quite difficult to determine where the fish are. So I've just been lifting and dropping, keep nice light rig. Don't want to lay my rig in all the time, make loads of commotion with it. I feel like the fish are already there. There's a bite. Quite stationary, that one. So I mean, you just got to be quite quite patient, but you can just keep putting fish in the net, which is all about. No matter what size they are. That's a crucian, that one. Cruciano. A couple of them now. But yeah. Put another caster on. There we go. Just make sure all my shot's in the right place. So I'm not feeding any other lines, and there's just these 2 pellet lines and the 2 shallow lines now. Just because I just feel like if I was going to catch shallow in that edge, I would have caught an odd one. And every time I've had a little look on it, I've not really caught anything. Well, I've not caught anything. Left and drop. Keep some casters going in. I've fish there, which is really, it's a good sign. So I'm not getting loads of signs on that caster, but I don't know whether it's due to me now just cutting that rig down. One thing I have noticed, I had more signs of missed bites, but maybe that's because my rig was a little bit too long. Now I've cut it down, I'm not really missing as many as I was, but I'm not getting as many. That makes sense. So sometimes having that longer piece of line can hinder you but help you in the same way. But that's where we're up to with that. We've got 56 fish. Let's try and catch another one. 56 fish, a couple of crucians, so not really sure, but I want to get to like that 70-80 mark, just because I feel that'll give us, especially the stamp we've caught today. That's a bite. Oh, it's come off. I mean, that one's a bit scatty compared to my cross on pellets, but I could always drop on the bottom again. That's the option. I could always drop on the bottom again. And I'll put a pellet on and see if I can get a bite on that. Pellets across just for you, but just wanted to do a little update. We've still got the rigs, we're still going strong. Obviously keeping them lines fed. So he's coming to a bit of a shallow fest, but obviously one rig has been doing all with this sort of thing. They wouldn't spec me now if I got one quite quickly. Just because I've been resting it a little bit, so I've just dropped on the line. You're surprised. As soon as you rest a line or two, you can just tell your pegs slowly. This is the problem with these sort of pegs. Sometimes it can get better, sometimes it can get worse, and I feel like I am a little burst at the start. Got to like 35, 40 fish really quickly, but these last 15 have been like a bit of a grind to catch. I'm not boning, it's brilliant fishing, but they've not been as easy as before, where it was just like they were coming 8-inch deep, 10-inch deep. They weren't very difficult to catch, but now you're getting a lot of signs, a few missed bites, and it just shows that like you might just be running out of fish sort of thing. So that's why I try and important when they make the most of it when they are feeding really, really aggressively. There's a bite. One telltale little sign of it can be is just start missing bites and start losing a few fish and stuff, and it's just a bit unsettled, and it's just all it is just you're just thinning the fish out. But I'm not making excuses, I just feel that's what's going on. But now at the minute I just feel like I've got these 2 lines plus a couple of pellet lines on. I don't really expect to catch a lot on my top kit where I'm fishing right in front of me, but it's just a line where I might get 1 or 2 fish and just gives me a chance to build up anywhere else, which I'm trying to build up to get a quick bite. Feed that caster. that could just get a little run on that and it might be 5 or 6 fish, but so just going through. Oh, there you are. Flicked over a fish's back there. Thing is, when it gets a little bit, I'm not going to say difficult, but when it does what it's doing now, where you got to be really on it now to try and put the most in your net, it's just make sure you do all the little small things right. It's like slap your rig in, everything's nice and tight, so if a fish does grab it, you're giving yourself the best chance. Sometimes you can get a bit, you know, don't concentrate when there's a lot of fish there, because obviously it's a bit easier to catch them, but when it's like this, just make sure the grouping of your feed right round your float, and your lifting droppings to timing, and just flicking your rig in and making sure you're working your rig. That's what I've found today, is just when it's gone a bit weird like this. See, now, as I'm talking, I'm doing all that things, I'm lifting and dropping, I'm working my rig, and it just pays you just put them little small things in your favour, them little 1% everyone talks about, but it's nice you can see it in a live match sort of scenario. But plodding along nicely. Like I said, it's not too disheartening. 58 fish. Got 15 minutes before we get to the last hour, so if I can get to like 62, 63 fish, and then have a nice little run the last hour, I feel like that could be really good. But I can get me that to 80, but I'm going to need a run somewhere. Oh, not good. So like I said, keep that rig slapped over, keep everything tight, even like between your pole tip and your float, so like I missed the bite then. Keep that feed round the float, which is really important, keep everything tight, lift and drop, lift and drop. So just getting lazy and thinking, oh, it's going slower, just try and like I said, get all them little things in your favour. That one extra slap over, you could get a fish just pull your elastic, or you could get that bite, or that feed's a bit neater. It just helps you all the time. Also, just because what I can find as well is I could have quite easily just stopped feeding them short lines middle of the match the way it was going. I could get a sign or indication across here near enough every single time when across there, either a fish or a missed bite or something, and then all of a sudden something's changed, it's gone a little bit cooler, the fish has dropped a little bit deeper, obviously not as many feeding in your peg, they might have drifted someone else, they might have gone further down your peg. Just gonna have a little look on the bottom. Pole's gone that way. Nice big 4mm. Golden 4mm. Not going to put anything in a pot. I'm just going to have a little look, because you never know. Never know what's gone on there. It might be absolutely solid on the bottom, because when I first went on this, it was like shelling peas. So just have a little look. You see, I'm trying to ring the changes all the time, still feeding quite aggressively, and I'll know whether sort of the right decision. It won't take long, because I'll get a lot of signs and indications on my float if I feel like there's a lot of fish shallow still. But I feel like if I just flick my pellet around, I'd get an odd bite to the end, but I'm just looking for that run all the time. I'm not scared of trying, thinking something. If that's in the mouth, that'll be alright. Might not be. It's one thing as well, the bites have been so delicate on the bottom. Ideally, I should have fished that 4/16 across there, and that's where I should have started, just kindering some bait across. don't know what this is. Let's have a foul look though. Substantial. It pings off its foul up, but I don't know, it feels alright. This could be one of them moments where you've just dropped in and caught a carp, which would make sense if they're on the bottom eating. Yes, there you go. That is why you just have a look at something all the time, because that could be a crucial. If you win the match now by like a pound or two, that decision could just make sure your match just gone a little bit easier. That's what we're after. It's a nice little bonus carp, that is. Now what I did with this as well, I just changed my shotting pattern to a bulking one, just because I was just trying to catch on the bottom. Like I said, I didn't feel like there was a lot of F1s shallow there. I feel like there's a bit more on my casters, but they're a little bit higher than what my rig is. So I'm going to feed that up and have a little look on this again. So that's a Brucey bonus size, which is ideal. So if you get loads of liners and loads of signs, you know there's an odd fish shallow, but I'm not getting loads of that on my float. That bite was also actually pathetic as well. Just like went, like didn't even, not what you thought with like a carp, where you just expected to bury 100 miles an hour, but see if we catch another one. There you are, it's fine. See, that's the thing, you can just get tick over on your line now. You might catch a different style of fish. So I'll try and get this in, see if it's in the mouth. And if it is, might be onto some in there, but you can see it's not all about shallow. Still playing around with deck rigs and stuff. Yeah, it's an F1 as well. So yeah. Ooh. Maybe we're onto something here, just a little run on the bottom. 3 or 4 fish like I spoke about, but then all of a sudden you're prepping your other lines back up. I'll try and catch one more. You're prepping your other lines back up, so that cast the shallow's not getting any fish taken off it, so you might go in and get like 3 or 4. So that's the beauty of it when you're trying to chop and change and move around your peg, trying to get runs to the end. I got 60 fish now, which is more than ideal. Got 7 minutes before the last hour, so I can catch another 2 in the next 7 minutes on this. That's foul looked. Oh, it's too good to be true. Let's foul look that one. Pellet's still on. Just felt that when that went in. But say if we get to 62 fish, it just gives me a chance to get into 80 fish, which I feel like I'm going to need for 100 and something pound. And I feel like, I don't know how well it's fishing up there, but this is where you can get sidetracked now, trying to stay on the bottom for too long. Probably sound like I'm contradicting myself, but I don't feel like there's loads of them carp feeding across there. So the last thing I want to do is just sit there and waste time. So I'll loose feed that now. That's fat. Look, we're not going back on that, but you can see there that little spell and 2 fish, and then obviously we're back on the bottom again, and we foul up one and lost it, prick one, and then I don't know what this one. I have a foul look though. It's just a thing. You need to chop and change your lines. Keep putting fish in the net. Hopefully it's in the mouth. We can get it in. There it is, just a bit bigger F1. So see, that to me now, I'd probably have another little chuck on it. Maybe. Somebody took me band. Another little chuck on that. And then, because he's took my band, I'm going to put it down. Have a look at my pellet. I'll have a little look at my pellet while you're here. Move my shot. 61 fish. Hopefully we can get to our 80 mark, but like I say, we're going to need a good run somewhere, like a 10 fish, which could happen on casters shallow or a pellet short or something. So just little, put all them things in your favour, and little 1%s, try and get everything around your float. Obviously nose and odd fish there, they are, that's a bite. So you've got drawn a few fish back in because you lose feeding on the bottom and it's giving you confidence that you're getting a few signs. So I'll get this one in, then I will go this time, but we'll come back just before the end and give a nice little update. Oops. But it's been a mint match, especially as well because obviously out my comfort zone a little bit, just fishing with rigs at which I'm trying to make everything work. So I'll keep going, I'll come back when in the last 15 or something. So I said we'll come back last 15, and at the minute we're just fishing on the bottom across because I've had a couple of carp on this, but getting odd sign shallow, but I just didn't feel like it was going to get a massive run on it. We're getting an odd sign on the bottom, but I've caught a couple of carp on it, and then we've got 74 fish at the minute. So hoping to get as close as we can to that sort of like 80 target which we set ourselves, but for the minute this is like petering off as well. Nothing's gone. Ridiculously solid, which you can stay on it for like a few fish, to chop and change a lot and move around. I might be able to go back and casters. I did catch a couple like poking the shallow rig right under the, up to the area. I caught a couple doing that. They were smaller fish, but I caught a couple doing that. So I could always do that in a minute. I just feel like I need to get one more on the bottom here, and then we could have a look elsewhere somewhere. But it's a case of not getting loads and loads of signs when I'm fishing on the bottom, even when I'm loose feeding over the top. And I think it's just one of them things where, as where if you're in the main part of the lake, a lot of fish can bypass you, as where down this end, if you catch what you can, just catching what's in your peg. Now it might be, we might have done alright, we might not have done alright, but I feel like I've had a nice match, and it's just one of them things where it's one of them things where if we don't have enough, then maybe stamper fish is going to cost us. But I just feel like that was always going to be the case down there anyway. It's going to be a bit feast or famine, sort of like end peg. It's not a narrow corner like in a bad way, but it's just a smaller part of the lake as compared to where if you draw a peg, say 14, 16, 18 up there, you've got a lot more area and a lot more scope to draw fish from. But I've had a mint day. I've still got my rigs, which I'm actually surprised about. But that was a nice fish, that one. Still got the rigs. What I'm going to do is just have a little quick go. Put in, shoving that caster rig right into that area, see if I can get a quick 2 or 3 fish. If I can't, I'll just go back on pellets and see if I can nick a bigger carp towards the end. But the beauty of it is only got a couple of rigs set up. I had to go on pellets on that edge line, but I just don't never feel like on this lake where the deep edges are, unless you catch shallow in the edge, you don't really catch that well in there. I don't know what it is about stress. I just feel like when it is them deep edges like this side, so like 1 to 16 sort of thing, where it's like 4.5, 5 foot in the edge, I never really seem to catch properly. But on the other side, when it's a bit shallow, you can get a nice little run in the edge. I'm just going to have a little slap off the edge of the aerator for now, if I need to. And if I feel like I ain't going to get a bite there or missed a couple of bites. Now I do feel like it has hindered me a bit fishing with only certain things. It's not giving me the options to try a dibber, try things like that. Yeah. the bite. Try different things, but it's been interesting because obviously, like I said before, not everyone has hundreds and hundreds of top kits and hundreds and hundreds of rigs, but just show you can get a couple of rigs from the shop, get them on your top kits and catch loads of fish even in match style conditions. So hopefully that's proved it. 76 fish. It's a lovely day's fishing that as well, especially that's all F1s and carp that is as well. Fantastic day's fishing really. Bites. And it's not like I've had too far. That was off the edge of the area, that wasn't even in the bit where I could keep it off. That was the proper caster, sort of spot bite as it settled up, pull my pole in. Get from a couple like that, you could get to 80 quite quickly. What we need, 4 fish. Come on. I'd love to get to 80. Ooh. That's a nice top lip as well. Caster's sound. Landing at court. Just make sure this shot doesn't moving around a little bit. Oh, I'll tangle the rig now. So it's destined to not make it to the end there. Keep firing them pellets in just in case we need you on it. But maybe looking back, I should have maybe just fished it like 13 where I was comfortably right in front of me, but I don't feel like I've done it too wrong on that long line. Probably a bit giddy with the catapult, a bit hurt too quickly, but did catch shallow one straight away and there was a few feeding fish there, so it's all easy to say after the match when you know the results and you feel like, but I feel like 80 to 100 pounds today would have been a really decent weight, just the way everywhere's been fishing with the weather and stuff. So if you offered me that at the start, I'd be more than happy. And probably have an 80 odd fish, probably looking at like 105 to 115 pound, maybe if they weigh a bit heavier than what I think, but I haven't really. I've just clicked the fish I've caught. Poked that in, getting a few signs and stuff where I'm fishing now, but I feel like if I just poke that, that there, if I just poke that and it went straight as I went to poke it into the bit where I think we'll catch one. Now I definitely, one thing I've found is that definitely got to be so in contact with your float. That back shot's so important on them shallow rigs. I've not got as many bites, I've not missed as many bites when I've shortened my rig down, but I've not got as many, but I just feel like I've connected with a few more than I have, just because obviously I'm more in contact with the float and a lot closer. I'm just going to pull that down 2 inch or so. Yep. Been more in contact with the float and just lifting and dropping, lifting and dropping, lifting and dropping. And it's been so apparent that like that's such a way to catch them. Need 2 more? Or 3 more? I don't know. Forgot. Ooh. Shallow it up a little bit just because I feel like I missed a few bites. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Yeah, that's what I mean when you turn up on that cast. Make a little bit of noise and they just come right to it. As where before, having the right depth. It's just everything's so important in shallow fishing you speak about. Just the little things make everything a lot easier. I don't know if I've not missed a fish here, I don't know. That doesn't matter. Maybe go over in that now. 78. Tell you what, if I get to that 80 mark, that I'm not really sure what the fish will average, but 80 odd fish is a lovely day of fishing. Can't moan at that. I haven't even flicked it on this caster when I've gone on it. I haven't even flicked it in a little naughty spot where you're going to get one. Get one in that, right in between the middle of the two floaty bits of the aerator. It was bright before, I just got an odd bite there, just lifting and dropping all the time. And just imagine like all the fish just hiding under there. My caster's wobbling around in the face. Sure whether I missed a fish, but so come out there, slap it over. Oh, got the area then. It can be really good, just give it 2 slaps, makes that bit of noise, and then it's bang. Especially when you're not fed. Not fed, because obviously that's the only noise there and they come up looking for food, and obviously your caster's only one there, that's when you get that like little flicking response. This has been like the theme of the day really. You get like a little run of 2 or 3 fish and you think, all right, that's it now, and then boom, nothing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pellet on when I get this, hopefully get this fish in. I'm just going to put a pellet on and whiz out on the other line. Just because I feel like I get a bite a little bit quicker on that. Because obviously I've not fished it since it's been on this. But that's a nice little ending we've had. It's a nice F1 that one. I mean, some of the stamp has been lovely today. We got 3 minutes. Surely got to get one. And go a little bit deeper. A little bit deeper. Whiz out there. And then we can get to 80 right. So, hang on, alright. Right, go. Come on. Pull something wacky out first, shot. Curse myself in a minute, saying I should have gone back in casters, but I feel like I was going to get one on this, just because I've rested it and I just fed it up. A couple of bites. It takes one just to grab hold of it and then we got one then. But yeah, it's been a lovely little match. Actually really enjoyed it. The bottom fishing, the cross has been a bit better than short, but it's always the same on this sort of like lake. I feel like if I'm doing like the late 20s or 20s, 18 round to 20 odd, late late 20s, you can catch a little bit better short there. It's like 3.5, 4 foot, and you can catch a little bit better short and can make things happen there. But here it's just so deep, and obviously the fish don't want to go down. It's like 5 foot straight away. You know what it's like when fish don't want to go and eat on the bottom. That's not ours, that's the club match behind me. Ours is the hooter. I probably made a mistake here not doing. I definitely thought I was going to get one, but should have just took my chance on caster again. Yep, so that's the end. There we go. That's been an enjoyable match, that has. I've actually really enjoyed it. I've still got my rigs, so get them on the winders for the competition winner. So make sure you get your entries in. And if you've missed what I'm on about, you have to go through the video and see what you're about. But yeah, it's been a nice little match. I've had 79 fish. Might have had 80, but I may have clicked one wrong. I don't know. But 79 fish. I feel like I've had a good match. Worked my lines well. Obviously, having only a couple of top kits set up is it really helps when you've only got this sort of setup. You're not going to mess around doing things all the time. I think if I was fishing here today, I'd have set up a line underneath my casters there, and I'd have been trying different things. As where we've just persevered, like middle of the match where we dropped on the bottom, on that bottom line. It's been really good fishing on the bottom. We caught a couple of carp. It's going to help boost your waist up and just put a few fish in your net. Why it's a little bit harder, and shallow isn't always going to go every single chuck. So yeah, it's been good. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll get weighed in, see how we've got on. Hopefully we've done enough to win, but that's the challenge over. The free pre-tied ready rig challenge. So hopefully we see how we've got on, and hopefully we've done as well as we did last time we won the match. So that'd be nice and smooth, but we'll see. And see what you got weighed in. Right, so we're all weighed in now, and we've actually weighed a little bit more than I thought. They've been a bit more chunky than I thought, and I've weighed 130 pound 12 ounces, and this has actually won the match only by 3 ounces. Phil Hardman's had 130 pound 9 ounces. So when I said that little change in decision where just to get some bites and I caught them couple of carp on the bottom, it's done me justice and got me over the line in match. I did say in the live match that could become crucial in the match, but it's been fished really well. Phil's been on peg 12, which is over there. I've just come out the way of the aerators because you can't really hear it. But yeah, 130 pound 12 ounces, brilliant day's fishing. To be honest, I don't really know what I'd have done different if I went back and maybe just fish persevered with a little dibber and stuff, but we didn't have that. We had the ready rigs. So don't forget to enter the competition, get your pegs in below, and I'll get a one drawn out there. But I've really enjoyed that one. Something a little bit different, a little bit out of my comfort zone. But that challenge, these challenges at Weston are going too smoothly, and we're going to have a bad one soon. But for now, we've had a brilliant one. We've won the match. We've completed the challenge. That's challenge 2 complete. Can you win a match with ready rigs? Yes, you can. So get them bought, get on the bank, get match fishing. You don't need loads of gear, 3 rigs. Get down to a venue with loads of fish, a brilliant venue like Weston Pools, and you can just bag up and have a great time in your match fishing. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.